How dare you place a call to Internal Affairs to try to make trouble for his career?
She was pulled over by a cop, so she tried to get even.
When he stopped me, he was very rude and abrupt.
I've just listened to this tape. This officer was nothing but courteous, tried to be kind to you. How dare you do that?
Parties on Robinson versus Manos. Step forward, please.
36-year-old Los Angeles police officer Brett Robinson is suing 61-year-old receptionist Beverly Manos for filing a false complaint after he wrote her a speeding ticket. She says he only stops women and he was rude.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. Yeah, this is case number 119 on the calendar in the matter of Robinson versus Manos. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat, please.
Mr. Robinson, you are a police officer.
Yes, ma'am.
And according to your complaint, in the course of your duties, you gave the defendant a speeding ticket.
Yes, ma'am.
A speeding ticket, eventually, upon which she was convicted, correct?
Yes.
Your complaint indicates that after you gave her the speeding ticket, she filed a complaint against you with Internal Affairs.
Yes, ma'am.
Something which you do not deny.
No.
That caused you a great deal of stress, ultimately could cause problems in your future career as a police officer, and you believe that she did so maliciously.
Yes, ma'am.
So since, Ms. Manos, you acknowledge the fact that you were convicted of speeding, so that he rightfully gave you the ticket, I'd like you to tell me why you filed a complaint against him.
Oh, well, Your Honor, I had first observed,
Now look at me.
Oh, I had first thought, in days before and the days after, he'd only noticed that he only gave tickets to ladies. Like, and I've traveled the same route every day. I've been driving for 46 years. And I didn't feel at the time that I was guilty, because of the circumstances.
Because of what circumstances, Ms. Manos?
Well, I was driving.
Please look at me.
I was driving in the slow lane of traffic, and well, I feel there was no way I could have been going 50 miles an hour like he said I was, but that's beside the point.
Well, though, that is precisely the point. You were, in fact, convicted of speeding.
Right.
So my question to you is, why did you file a complaint against him?
Well, when he stopped me, he was very rude and abrupt and, talked down at me very demeaningly, and I was nervous.
Give me an
and upset.
example. All right, let's start from the beginning, Ms. Manos. First of all, let's understand that when you're pulled over for speeding, your adrenaline is pumping. According to your answer, you've been driving for a long time and never received a speeding ticket before.
No.
So I assume that you were a little nervous?
Nervous, right.
No. So he pulled you over, and what was the first thing he said to you?
He said, you were speeding. And I said, I don't believe so. I was nervous and very upset, and he said, can I see your driver's license? And I got my driver's license and everything, and he just was very abrupt.
No. Stopped your car and said you were speeding.
Mm-hmm.
You said, I don't think so. Mm-hmm. He said, I need your driver's license.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you gave him your driver's license?
Yes.
Next thing that he said to you?
He asked me for my proof of insurance.
And you gave it to him?
Yes. And he said, he all the time he was like, he didn't, I don't know, he was just, he didn't, give me a chance to any explanation or anything, or even, just, I said, well, how he was doing 50 and 35 miles on his own. He said, I got it on radar. Well, I said, I don't think so.
Just a second. So you said, I don't think I was speeding, and he said, I have it on radar.
Mm-hmm.
That you were doing 50 in a 35-mile zone? You said, I don't think so.
Right.
And what did he say to you?
He just said, well, he said, that's what the, the radar thing says. Well, I said, I couldn't have been going that fast, officer, because I was in the slow lane of traffic, and I was going to be turning on Wilbur at the next block.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, that's what the radar said.
Okay. And what was the next? And then he gave you the ticket.
He went behind my car and wrote out the ticket.
And handed it to you.
Mm-hmm. Had me sign it.
And then what happened?
He just, drove, just drove away.
So, what's your complaint?
Well, the fact that when he, when he first told me, the way he, spoke to me, very, rude and demeaning. He didn't.
I didn't hear anything rude and demeaning. He asked you for your license. He asked you for your proof of insurance, both of which you gave him to him. You questioned the fact, Ms. Manos, that he did in fact clock you going 50 in a 35-mile zone. His response to you was, I have it on radar. Right? You said, I don't think so. He said, I have it on radar. Then he went in the back, he wrote you a ticket. He came up, this is according to you, he came up to you, signed the ticket, and he left. He's not there to give you a recipe, madam. He's there to give you a speeding ticket.
No, I realize
What did you
that.
expect him to do?
Well, the thing of it is my understanding of, like, with the radar, I mean, this is just my understanding, saying that you only can get it, like, from the front or from the rear of a vehicle, not, like, a 90-degree angle. I was, from where he was and to where I was.
That's something that you take up at a trial.
I know. But they,
So you were arguing with this officer?
No, I wasn't arguing with him. I just, I said I didn't think I was speeding because I was in the
So
full
you
lane.
said you didn't think you were speeding. He said you were. If it's your understanding that there is some problem with radar, then that's something you take up at a trial. You have a relative who's in the police department?
Past relative, retired.
A retired relative. Who?
My husband,
And what was he?
deputy sheriff.
Okay, so you had some information about that. So far I don't hear any basis for your writing a letter of complaint against him.
I didn't write a letter of complaint. I called Internal Affairs. Because in fact, when he spoke with me, he spoke in like a demeaning manner. I mean, he very abrupt, and I mean, he could see that I was nervous and upset, and I mean, it just,
I didn't hear anything demeaning. You mean the words that he said? He said,
I mean,
instead of
in
saying,
his
may I
tone.
please have your license?
No.
He said, give me your license.
well, just his tone and his,
Police Officer Brett Robinson says he was not rude. He has a tape to prove it. He wants $5,000 from Beverly Manos for filing a false complaint against him.
You have something you want me to hear?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a tape recording of the actual conversation that took place between the defendant and myself. She's pretty close to what was said.
Good. So
and
let
I
me
have
hear
a
it.
transcript for you and for the defendant if you
I
wish
don't need
to.
a transcript. What
Okay.
she's complaining about, certainly there is absolutely nothing in what you said to her that is untoward. As a matter of fact, what you said to her was absolutely professional. What she is now complaining about is your tone.
Okay.
So if you have a recording, I'm going to listen to your tone.
Okay.
Go.
Your Honor.
I'm fine.
50 miles an hour on the radar.
Well, what I did was I was trying to pass out of the car because I had come off and when I had that spot.
That's 35.
I know. Well,
About a driver's license.
they had the other intersection down there. The Cedar, they had the what do you call it, lane blocked, and I had to get over to the turn, and that's the only way I could get back over to, go.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and find the registration and the insurance, please? I'll be right back with you.
Sir?
I'll be right back with you, ma'am. You have the paperwork there? Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm just so nervous.
That's okay. Ma'am, they give you till the 27th of March to take care of the citation. Signatures here at the bottom, please.
You have any idea how much?
No, I sure don't.
I wasn't doing anything. Sorry, I'm just so nervous.
It's okay, I understand. I do need your signature here at the bottom, please.
I've never had this thing taken in my life. Does this mean I have to go to court? There's no way.
All the information's on the copy that you're going to get.
There's no way I can go to court. I can't afford to take off from work without
Right.
pay. JJ's going to be very happy with me, JJ Leonard. Do you know JJ Leonard?
Yeah, information is on the back of the ticket.
I'm he's in the resolution with my husband's feet, and he's going to be very unhappy with me.
Okay, drive safely. Bye-bye. Today is February the 10th, 1998, 8:45 a.m.
Your Honor, don't they have to ask your permission or tell you that they are taping conversation?
I don't answer your questions, madam. You answer my questions. I've just listened to this tape. This officer was nothing but courteous, tried to be kind to you, was most respectful to you. How How dare you place a call to Internal Affairs to try to make trouble for his career? How dare you do that? That's outrageous. That's outrageous. You know what happens? You know, everybody in this country sees glaring newspaper articles about abuses by police officers. And the things that you do demean sometimes legitimate complaints about cops that are bad. This officer knows that there are some cops that would be rude, that are not nice. You happen to pick on one that couldn't have been nicer, couldn't have been more pleasant. He's at the beginning of his career. How dare you call Internal Affairs to register a complaint against him? And not only that, not only did you lie about the fact, Ms. Manos, that he was rude, abrupt with you.
I thought he was.
You were upset. You were upset. That has nothing to do with him. You were speeding. But in order to make it even worse for this officer, you accused him of bias. You said that he only stops women. And now you're trying to tell me that you watched him, and the only people that he stopped in the days that you watched him were women.
Well, like the days before, one of the ladies in my same building had stopped. And then also...
Just a second. So the day before, another woman was stopped by this officer. And based on that, you concluded that he only stops women.
Well, on all the days that I saw him at the same location, you know, for almost about 4 days, and all I ever saw him pulled over was women.
Oh, please.
No, really.
Please.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Manos, I want to tell you something. If you don't tell the truth once, judges don't believe anything that you say.
Well, I am telling the truth.
No, you didn't. You didn't tell the truth about your major complaint because you said your major complaint was that he was rude to you.
I thought he was rude.
No. You felt he was rude? Your first question to me after you heard this tape was, doesn't he have to ask my permission to tape record what I say? That has nothing to do with the truth of the tape.
No,
that has to do with the fact that you were upset that he had the tape to begin with.
No, I didn't even know they had
Officer
a tape.
Robinson.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's get to your damages, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Police officer Brett Robinson wants $5,000 from Beverly Manos for filing a false complaint against him after he stopped her for speeding. Beverly says she's never had a speeding ticket in 46 years.
People have to be discouraged from filing false complaints against police officers. And I'm going to compensate you.
Thank you.
I want you to tell me what you feel as if it's worth and where you would like the money to go.
Well, I feel it's worth the full amount of the suit that I filed for, which was for $5,000, based upon a couple of reasons. Number one, as you already stated, I've only have 14 years on the police department. I probably have another 16 more to do, and the promotability. This type of complaint goes into your personnel package, whether it's unfounded or no misconduct is as a result of the end of the investigation. It hurts an officer's career.
How long did this investigation go on, sir?
The ticket was written on February the 10th. She made the complaint on February the 13th. I was notified by my sergeant that the complaint was probably towards the end of February, beginning of March. I don't know the exact day. From that point on, I began to obtain assistance from another police officer as well as a private investigator, Officer Clark Baker here, who is my witness and helped me to establish a case against Ms. Manos.
When was the investigation with regard to her complaint finally terminated with regard to you?
June the 1st, I was called into the captain's office, and I have paperwork here to show it was originally found unfounded. They sent it to the chief of police office. They asked for it to be withdrawn by the chief of police. The chief of police refused to withdraw the complaint, instead changed the unfounded complaint to no misconduct. This is the complaint.
I'd like to see the complaint, too, while you're looking for the other documents.
You sure you have it? Oh, here it is, right here.
You might be interested to know, Ms. Manos, that they conducted their own internal audit based upon your complaint of the citations that this officer gave. On February 10th, the day that you were cited, Officer Robinson issued 13 citations. 9 of those were issued to males, 69%. For the period from January 30th to February 20th, which is a larger period of time, a total of 120 citations were issued by Officer Robinson. Of those 120 citations, 55% were issued to males. 66 to males, 54 to women. That belies. That was based on their own internal audit. That belies what you said.
Your Honor, I was just going by where on that space of the span of the street where, I go to work.
I don't believe you. You were angry.
No, I
Oh,
wasn't
sure
angry.
you were. I don't believe you. I don't believe
was
that
upset.
anybody... Listen, I drive the same route all the time. To go to work, to go to visit my children, whatever. I don't even look to see who an officer is stopping. As long as he's not stopping my car, I'm happy. And you're telling me you're on your way to work, and you not only stop to see the car, you stop to see whether the person he's giving the citation to is a male or a female? Baloney!
No, I don't stop.
Baloney!
This is
I'm kidding,
after
baloney.
you stop. You can see, Your Honor. You can see, Your Honor, when you're passing,
No, not if you're supposed to be watching in front of you, madam. If you're supposed to be watching in front of you, you're not looking to see another car off the side of the road, and especially whether the occupant of the car is a male or a female. I want to tell you something. I don't even like this form by the police department. This form says the above complaint has been investigated, and a review of the investigation has led to the recommended classification of, and there are only 2 ways to answer. Other than sustained, which is what is checked off here, or sustained, and what the penalty is. There is no place here that says no basis. That's unfair. That seems to me to be something that should be addressed. Now, you want to tell me, sir, do you want this entire award to you, or is there any particular way you want to divvy it up?
The court fees, Your Honor, I would like to go to the Mid-Valley Community Police Council.
How much?
How much were the court fees?
$300.
And what kind of an organization is this?
This is a community organization that supports programs that the police department gets involved in. It benefits both the community and the police department.
Like what? Give me an example. First, give me a name.
Training to police officers, training to supervisors. They're also affiliated with organizations such as Jeopardy, which is a gang intervention program that assists children.
Okay. Next. The remainder of the award you want to you personally?
Please.
Okay. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. The entire award is $5,000 with $300 of the award towards Mid-Valley Community Council. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Excused. You may step out.
What makes you think that your father lied to you when he told you that your mother was dead?
Because he told me different stories.
A father and daughter divided by a long-time family mystery.
How did she die?
She died in an automobile accident in Decatur, Georgia, Your Honor.
Was she alone at the time of the accident?
She's dead, Your Honor. She's gone.
This is very, very sad.
Parties on Torres versus Torres. Step forward, please.
18-year-old Lisa Torres is suing her father, 42-year-old process manager Jay Torres, for abuse and keeping her things when he kicked her out. Jay says his teenage daughter is out of control.
Order. All rise. Let's have quiet, please. Your Honor, this is case number 159 on the calendar in the matter of Torres versus Torres. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Ms. Torres, this is your father,
Yes.
and you are suing him because you claim that when you left home, he kept some of your belongings.
Yes.
He says that when you left home, you took all of your belongings. Whatever you didn't want, you threw away. Is that right, sir?
That's correct, Your Honor.
I read both of your complaints, your complaint and your answer. There were certain things that were a little troublesome to me, so let me ask you. It appears that the trouble between you and your father started when you were 12 years old, according to you?
That's when most of it started, yes.
How old are you now?
I'm 18.
Say the problem started when he first lied to you about the fact that your mother was dead.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a sister?
Yes.
A younger sister?
Yes.
How old is she?
I think she's 12 years old now.
What do you mean you think?
I haven't really had any contact with her for a while, so I don't know for sure.
And you always lived with your father?
Up until I was 12, yeah.
What happened when you were 12?
I started going to various group homes because of the problems we were having at home.
What makes you think that your father lied to you when he told you that your mother was dead?
Because I talked to a CPS worker in Arizona, and he said he would start looking for her. So he looked for her in Georgia, looked for a death certificate,
Yeah.
see if there was a death certificate. He didn't find anything there. So he searched all over the U.S. He found no records of any death certificate on my mother.
And that makes you think that he lied to you? Did your father tell you the circumstances surrounding your mother's death?
He told me different stories about how she died.
Was that your first wife, sir?
Yes, Your Honor, it was.
And how long were you married?
Elizabeth and I were together for 10 and a half, almost 11 years.
And how did she die?
She died in an automobile accident in Decatur, Georgia, Your Honor. That's the only story I've ever told Lisa and Randy both over all these years. And
Was she alone at the time of the accident?
Yes, Your Honor, she was. I had been contacted by one of Liz's friends when the accident occurred. At that time, Lisa's younger sister was with her mother, and I had to fly down there to get her. And I also attended the funeral, so she's dead, Your Honor. She's gone.
At age 12, you started to go to various group homes. At what point did you leave the house permanently?
That would be when I was 17. That would be May of '97.
Had you gone through all of your things at the house?
No, I didn't have a chance to.
Why?
Because I left too quickly to really go through my things. I just pulled a few things out, put them in a bag, and left.
Where did you go?
I just took a bus into Chandler. That's a town a few miles away from where we were at.
And what did you do? You were 17.
I spent the night out on the street near this movie theater, and then the security guard, he said I could stay with him for a little while. So I stayed with him at his apartment.
How long did you stay with the security guard?
About 3-4 days.
And then where did you go?
After that, there was this boy that I had met in the apartment complex where the security guard was. He convinced me to call the police, so I did.
And then where did you go to live? You called the police came to get you?
The police came and picked me up, and I stayed at the station for a few hours, and then I went to another shelter.
An adult shelter or a children's shelter?
It was a children's shelter.
And how long did you stay at the shelter?
I think about a month.
And from there, where did you go?
I went to a different group home after that.
How long were you there?
I guess 7 or 8 months. Then there was another shelter I went to after that, and from there, I went out on my own.
Why did you leave the shelter, the group home, to go to another place after 7 months?
Because they decided that they wanted me to become more independent before I turned 18, and the one that I was in was too restrictive. So they put me in another one that pretty much lets you do whatever you think you need to do.
So what did you do, Ms. Torres?
I tried to get a job, but I couldn't hold down a job because I guess the ones I went for were a little too boring for me. So when I turned 18, there was another shelter I went to after that, and then from there I went to the one I'm in now.
So now you're living in a shelter?
Yeah.
Are you working?
No, I'm going to start schooling for a job on the 20th of next month.
What items do you believe that your father still has of yours?
There's a lot of collector's items. He's took some of my horror novels. He's got several pieces of jewelry. One of them, a ring and a necklace set, came from my first stepmother. Another one came from my first stepmother's my first stepmother's father. He's got my radio that my grandpa from New York sent me. He's got a piano keyboard that he bought me for getting good grades on one of my report cards. He's got sentimental items from my first mother. He's got my yearbook. He's got my spelling bee trophies, and he's got my bedroom set.
Well, let's deal with the big item first, the bedroom set.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get this bedroom set?
He bought it for me.
Mr. Torres,
Your Honor.
you've heard the list of items that your daughter says that she would like back.
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any of those things?
No, Your Honor, I do not. And if I may, I'd like to go ahead and first express my disappointment and my shock at being here to begin with something of this nature. The problems that Lisa and I have had actually started pretty intensely when she was about 14 years old. There were episodes of running away, there were some problems she had with the law and with school, and eventually got to the point where I had to go ahead and put her into a group home myself because the problems had become so severe, become very destructive, both of myself and my younger daughter. As time went by, we went to family therapy, we went to additional counseling sessions. I mean, we had people all over the town, literally, struggling and working hard to try to turn things around for Lisa Marie. And it just didn't work. And it finally got down to the point when she was 17, where the episode that she's bringing up in question now, she was in the process of being released from the group home she was at. There were several questions and several concerns exhibited by many of the people that were involved with the case about her returning home at that point. Nonetheless, the effort was made to replace her back in my home. She was there for about 4 days. She went through a lot of stuff in that time.
You mean personal things?
Yes, Your Honor. In her
Personal belonging. When you say she
personal
went through a lot of
belongings,
stuff.
clothing, the whole 9 yards, everything. When she left, it was at on the evening of the 4th day, and then we didn't hear anything else for about 2-3 weeks before the police department finally contacted me, and then I instructed them, after the state had already told me that when she was located, to have her remanded over to them as well.
Have her remanded to them?
Yes, Your Honor. At that point, Lisa was awarded of court, and after this last episode, it had gotten so bad with the problems that she'd been having, with the type of medication she was taking at that point not working. I sat down with the state workers, and they said there wasn't anything else that I could be expected to do. There was nothing else really that they could do. And at that point, I was advised to go ahead and give over my parental rights to the state and allow the state of Arizona to take over Lisa's case. And that pretty much broke my heart.
Lisa Torres wants her father, Jay Torres, to return her belongings. She claims he was abusive to her. He says she's a troubled teenager.
Is your younger daughter still living with you?
No, Your Honor, she's currently in a group home now because of other circumstances that arose partially as a result of this.
How long has your younger daughter not been living with you, sir?
Since August of last year, and we're looking forward to her coming back in the next month or two.
Is it possible that your younger daughter has any of these things?
No, Your Honor, she does not. That I can say for certain.
Well, you know, I mean, she's talking about bits of jewelry. I doubt whether it's really expensive jewelry. Mm-hmm. But is it possible that when your daughter left, she might have overlooked these pieces that she didn't take with her and your younger daughter took them?
All the things that were left in the bedroom after she had gone, I went through, and there were clothes that were very dirty, that were not usable or not wearable. There were some things that she had already outgrown. And as far as the other items that she's indicated, the keyboard, for example, was always something that she shared with her younger sister. And when she left, she told Amanda that she could have the keyboard. As far as everything else, Your Honor, there isn't anything else. I mean, she was essentially really taken out of the home 4 years ago, and in all that time, I did hang on to a lot of her stuff, and when she came back and she looked through everything, she threw out a lot of stuff, and then when I finally moved from there, what little bit was left was put in the trash as well, and there was nothing there of any value, Your Honor. There was certainly no necklace, there was certainly no trophies or anything else of anything left at that point.
Is it possible that they were discarded, these trophies and other things, when you moved? So you moved from the residence?
Yes, Your Honor, and I went through everything myself, and they were not there, Your Honor.
Ms. Torres, it doesn't appear to me that your father is withholding these things from you. He says he just doesn't have them. Did you tell your younger sister that she could have the keyboard?
No, Your Honor, I got that from my father as a sort of a reward for getting grades on my report card, and I told my sister I would share it with her. I didn't say she could own it.
That you would share?
That was originally my item, yes.
Do you know where that is right now?
Yes, Your Honor, I do know where that is
where
exactly.
Is it?
It's being kept in storage along with a couple of other items that I have in there. It's
like
in
what?
a 5x5. Some old computer books.
What about her horror novels?
This is the first time I've heard of horror novels. The only books she ever read were things like Star Trek. That was it.
But you do have certain things in storage, Mr. Torres, is that right?
That's correct, but the only item that she's indicated on that list, the only one that I can say for sure is there, is that keyboard.
I want you to see to it that she gets it.
Yes, Your Honor.
And what about this bedroom furniture?
The bedroom furniture, I do not have. That's been gone for some time. When Lisa had run away the last time and I had spoken with her CPS caseworker, I asked him, what should I do about the bedroom set? And he said he would talk to Lisa. And then about a month later, he called me and said Lisa said I could just go ahead and get rid of it, so I donated it to the Salvation Army so somebody else could have it.
You say no.
Your Honor, I never got any phone call from any CPS worker or anything. I never got a phone call.
This was 4 years ago, Ms. Torres, is that right?
No, the last time I was at home was in May of last year.
That would have been March of last year, Your Honor.
No.
Well, in May of last year, was your bedroom furniture there?
It was there when I left, yes.
This is very, very sad. Mr. Torres,
Your Honor.
you have to acknowledge, sir, that when you have 2 children, and both of them are out of your house, that there might be some fault with you.
Yes, Your Honor, and that has been addressed quite extensively. There have been
Well,
several
I just
parenting
want you-
classes, therapy sessions, and quite a bit of help.
Well,
And the people involved on Amanda's case are all on my side now. to
That's
go ahead
your
and bring her
younger
home.
daughter?
Yes, Your Honor.
well, evidently that came about kind of late with regard to this child.
Well, in regards to Lisa, Your Honor, I had attended several weekly therapy sessions with her, both at the family group homes that she was at and the hospitals that she stayed in as well. So I gave it every effort that I possibly could.
Since you left home, Lisa, have you been hospitalized?
No, Your Honor, not since the last time,
Which was when?
which was May of last year. I had been in a mental hospital for about a month before then because I was dealing with manic depression.
Are you taking
because-
medication now, Lisa?
Yes, I am.
What kind of medication do you take?
I forgot the exact name of it. It's some anxiety depressing medication.
But you take it regularly?
Yes.
You sound like a really intelligent gal.
Thank you.
Did you graduate from high school?
No, Your Honor, I went for my GED.
But you got your GED?
Yes.
Probably was easy for you. You're going to go on to school?
Yes, Your Honor.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to become a computer animator.
You good with computers?
I'm going to be. I'm pretty good with them now, though.
Do you think that would be any purpose in you trying to go for some conjoint therapy with your dad?
No.
You're not ready for that?
No.
What about with your little sister?
I would be willing to do that.
If I can address that, Your Honor, there's been some concern about that with the current caseworkers that are doing work with Amanda. I've already told Mandy back at the beginning I have no objection to her seeing her sister or dealing with her or doing whatever she'd like. That is her relationship, and she needs to keep that intact if that's what she wants to do, and I would not intervene. Also, despite everything that's gone on, I still love my daughter very much, and I really do hope that she goes forward and she can make things work, because that's all I've ever wanted for her.
Lisa Torres is suing her father, Jay, for abusive behavior. He says she is out of control.
I'm listening to what you're saying, Mr. Torres, and I'm going to make some suggestions to you. First of all, as far as this court case is concerned, I'm going to direct that your daughter make sure that before you leave today, she gives you her address, and this keyboard that you have, you return to her.
Very well, Your Honor.
Understood? I also think that probably your daughter, who was 18 years old, that's really still a child. Most of us still know, Lisa, that 18, although you're doing a lot on your own, you lived in a lot of shelters, which probably was very unpleasant, 18 is still very young. And she could probably, Mr. Torres, benefit, at least for the time being, with some financial support from you. That would be gratuitous financial support. That would mean just because she's out there and she's struggling to do it on her own at age 18, she could probably make 25 bucks a week go a long way. I'm just throwing that out to you because I think that if you say, I love my daughter very much and I want her to succeed, that may be helpful for her, a little bit of financial support.
I've never had a problem with that, Your Honor.
Okay.
The only thing that I ask is just for a simple thank you from time to time, that's all.
You may not get it right away. I mean, you have to understand, Mr. Torres, that your daughter acknowledges that she has a mentally diagnosed illness for which she was hospitalized,
Right.
over which she has absolutely no control. I'm sure that she wishes she didn't have that problem, but she does.
Yes.
So having that problem over which she has no control, I mean, it's just like having you know, a physiological illness. And if she had a physiological illness, you would want to help her.
Right.
This is something that can affect personality. It can affect the way you view the world. Right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, Lisa?
I'd like to point out, though, that for the past 4 to 5 years, I've continued working at that, and I did not give up, even after a lot of people had already told me you've gone as far as you could.
You can't go as far as you can as a parent, Mr. Torres.
Yes, I understand that,
You
Your
go
Honor,
as
but
far as you can as a parent when one of you is 6 foot underground.
That's exactly right,
That's
Your Honor.
right. That's when you
exactly
say,
right.
I've had enough as a parent. You don't say, well, this is too tough. I've done my best. You know, it's been 4 tough years and I can't do any more.
Right.
So even if you don't get a thank you.
Well, I've never
Right.
given up, Your Honor.
Okay, so what I'm saying to you is, you say you've never given up and you want the best for your daughter.
That's correct.
Then you don't wait for a thank you. You say, I want her to do well. And if this will ease her life a little bit for now, I want to see to it that I do that for her. And maybe in time, if you do that, maybe things will get better.
I hope so, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Torres, so you're going to see to it that your daughter gets a keyboard, which is going to make her feel better.
Yes, Your Honor.
I would like you to, if you can from me, sir, I would like you to look through some of those other boxes and see if there's anything that's on her list. Would you give him that list, Ms. Torres, please? Just give it
Okay.
over to him. Just take a look through the things, and if there is anything else that you find other than that, the keyboard, make sure you send it off to her.
I'll do that,
And
Your
if you want to be a smart man, include it in that box with the keyboard, be a money order for her. Don't send a check, because I don't know if she has a checking account. Right? So send it in a money order.
I can do that, Your Honor.
And I know spare cash isn't always easy, but it sounds to me as if she's trying at this point. So help her along. Unconditional love is what you have for a child.
Yes, Your Honor.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so excuse, you may step out.
Okay.
Music manager Sheila Thurman says her landlord, Carol Cardenas, is responsible for her home being burglarized. Carol is countersuing Sheila for breaking her lease.
Order, all rise. Your Honor, this is case number 79 on the calendar in the matter of Thurman versus Cardenas. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have seats.
Mrs. Thurman, you and your family were renting an apartment or a house from the defendant.
Yes, a house.
According to your complaint, when you rented this house, the defendant left a pool table there, and there was an understanding between the two of you that she would come and pick it up at some point.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you claimed that she had someone, I assume that that's this gentleman here, without notifying you, come into the house
Yes.
to pick up the pool table. Mm-hmm. And this is your son?
That's my son.
And he was the one who was home.
Yes, he was.
So step up here, sir. Tell me your name.
Teron Bailey Thurman.
Where were you when he came into the house?
I was asleep on the floor in front of the TV.
So you were asleep in front of the television.
Yeah, I'm asleep in front of the TV, and I awake to find 2 gentlemen behind me.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, of course, I'm scared. You know, my immediate questions are, who are you and what are you doing here?
And what did they say? What did this gentleman say?
This gentleman was basically like, well, we came to get the pool table, Carol sent us.
And did
I'm
you know
like-
who he was talking about?
Yeah, I know he was talking about Carol. The thing is, I asked him how he got in, and he said that Carol gave them keys.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. They proceeded to take the pool table apart. They asked to go see upstairs for some measurements for some windows in my mom's office.
Once they told you that they were there to pick up the pool table for Carol, and once you were comfortable enough, so when they said they wanted to go measure some stuff upstairs for the windows,
I
you
led
knew
them
what
upstairs.
You knew what they were talking about, measuring the stuff for the
Yeah.
windows? So you knew that. So after your initial fright of waking up and finding these 2 people in your house, then after that you figured that they were there legitimately.
I mean, yeah, they seem, I mean, seem to be real, you know?
Right.
I mean,
Now, so they went up together to measure,
yeah.
and what were you doing?
I stood in the doorway,
Which doorway?
the doorway of the room that they measured. There were 2 windows in the room.
So you accompanied them upstairs,
Right.
and then where did you go?
I led them back downstairs, and they started taking the pool table apart.
Yes.
One gentleman kind of disappeared from my sight for a little bit. I mean, I really didn't pay much attention to it then, but, you know, hindsight is 20/20. He came back, you know, and they took the pool table out piece by piece. My mom calls, and she informed me that she didn't know anything about anyone coming there to get anything.
Right.
And basically, I'm like, well, you didn't know? And she's like, well, no. When did you let them in? How long have they been there? And I'm like, well, they were here when I woke up, you know, already getting started on things.
Okay. And then they loaded the pool table and they left.
Well, they talked to my mom on the phone a little while, and then they drove.
Left.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you know that you did the wrong thing by giving somebody the keys to the house without first contacting her. You know that.
Well, we contacted her by telephone.
You never spoke to her according to your papers.
No, we left a message.
Right. But you never spoke to her according to your answer.
James called, and I believe he did not speak to her.
Step up, please. You called and left a message.
Twice.
When did you call?
I called on Sunday around 10 a.m. and also Monday prior to coming out, which would have been 10 a.m.
So you never actually reached them on the phone?
No.
So it was a mistake, absolutely, until you make arrangements with them to give anybody the key to her home. Had she been paying rent up until that time?
Yes, she had.
Is she still living in your home?
Yes, she has. But she's not paying the rent, and she hasn't since March. Last payment was February.
I read that because you have a countersuit.
Yes.
Why haven't you paid rent?
She's been paid up, and only rent that she did not get was April and May. The reason I didn't pay for April and May because I felt like my privacy had been invaded. My things were stolen out of my house. She gave 2 strangers keys to my house. She did not know them. She didn't know them.
You can't withhold rent. You can't withhold rent.
Well, I wrote her a letter that I was going to move, and I was living off of my security in March.
Just a second. Miss Thurman, this happened in January.
She was paid.
Shh. This happened in January, correct?
Yes.
Good. And you say you paid her in February?
Yes, I did.
Correct?
Yes.
And you say you told her to use March, the security for March, correct?
That's correct.
And then you started to think about how angry you were. Let me see the police report where you reported to the police that things were stolen out of the house.
Well, you know what? Actually, the police told me, they said it couldn't file criminal report because there was not forced entry. That's exactly what they told me. The fact is that she gave somebody keys to my house, invaded my privacy. I got a teenage daughter with 2 men coming in. What if she would have been home? That's what I'm feeling about.
Well, she wasn't
And my
home.
things were gone.
Your Honor?
Just go ahead.
I will, you know, in hindsight, agree with you that I did make a mistake.
It was a mistake.
I agree.
Absolutely the wrong thing to do. Okay. What kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm a professional mover, ma'am.
And you were doing this as a favor for her?
No, she paid me to do this. She hired me to do this. Their facts are close, but we did make entry to the house after knocking on the door repeatedly, went to the back, knocked on the back, and then we did come in.
Okay.
And
It was a mistake.
Was a mistake. Her son jumped up, and immediately he asked us who we were, because I'm sure he was startled, I would be. And I told him what we were going to do. I provided him with a written authorization to remove the pool table, signed by Carol. And at that point, he was very at ease with us. I also knew that he was 18 because I asked him, and he started talking about college, and I just said, okay, well, we'll go ahead and stay here, because I was a little uneasy having a young man there. He took us upstairs, all the way into the room, to the windows. I made him point them out, because I didn't want to measure the wrong windows, and then we all came back downstairs, and my coworker and I started loading the pool table. And at the end, after it was loaded and I was outside, he brought the phone out with his mom on the phone. He actually had 2 phones in his hand. One, he was talking to his girlfriend, the other one, his mom, and said, here, you talk to her. I don't want to.
Just a second. There's noise out there. Would you please step outside? Thank you. Where's the TV in your house?
We have like 4 TV. We have like a TV in every room.
And how many VCRs?
At least 3.
Yeah, they're big things like this, right?
Yeah, the regular size VCRs.
Regular size VCRs.
Yes.
Yeah. And how big is the computer?
It's a laptop.
So it's also about so big, right?
Exactly.
Right. So You're claiming that they walked out with your 18-year-old son there with a VCR.
Yes, I am.
I don't believe
Yes, I
you.
am.
I'd like
They
to.
were
I don't.
there.
You want to know why I don't believe you? Since this happened in January, you paid her February's rent, and you wrote her a letter that March rent was going to be paid off with your security.
That's right.
If in fact this wasn't a delayed reaction to non-paying rent, you wouldn't have paid her a dime in February, and you wouldn't have paid her anything for March, and yet you did. But now you're hanging over April and May and still not paying rent.
Sheila Thurman says her landlord, Carol Cardenas, gave her house keys to movers when they came to move a pool table. Sheila claims items are missing, and she's holding Carol responsible.
You are entitled to something for the fact that she allowed somebody else to come into your house, but I am finding that I am not satisfied that they stole anything out of your house. Period. So she has to pay you for some sort of inconvenience that you suffered and the fright of your son and for allowing somebody to come into your house without your permission. Now, you have a counterclaim, and your counterclaim is for unpaid rent.
Yes.
Now, how much was the rent per month?
$2,400, $2,400.
$2,400 a month. I am awarding you, Mrs. Thurman, $1,000 for your pain and suffering and startling. Do you understand? Yours. When are you planning to move out of this house?
The middle of June. I have been looking.
Just a second, please. She says the middle
I'm just
of
being
June.
honest. That's
She
all.
says the middle of June. I am going to assume that she will be there 3 months without paying rent. So that's $7,200. I'm deducting the $1,000 from that, which leaves $6,200. And I'm awarding you the maximum I can on your counterclaim, which is $5,000 for non-payment of rent. Do you understand?
Thank you.
That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I think the judge is very unfair, and I think she's just as much of an idiot as this lady here for letting somebody take 2 keys and come into my home and invade my privacy and steal my belongings.
It's hard for me to accept the fact that she's getting any form of settlement. However, wholly I do feel justice has been done in terms of the fact that I will be getting settlement.
Judge Judy sees the truth.
Yeah.
Parties on Ely versus Chrysler. Step forward, please.
36-year-old workman's comp claim agent Julia Ely claims her ex-fiancé, 35-year-old mechanic Daniel Chrysler, owes her for credit card bills and a motorcycle purchased while they were together. Daniel says she's the one who wanted the motorcycle.
You and the defendant were engaged to be married, and according to your complaint, he had a credit card on which there was a balance.
Yes.
What was the balance?
It was approximately $2,200.
And then he wanted a motorcycle, according to you.
Yes.
So you transferred the balance of his credit card to a new credit card that you had that had a 0 balance.
Yes.
And you added on to that the motorcycle.
Yes.
And the motorcycle was in your name?
It was both of our names.
And then the engagement was broken?
Yes.
Yes,
Who took the motorcycle?
I did.
And did you make some payments on it?
No.
To her?
Prior to the breaking off of the engagement, yes, I did.
How many payments did you make?
6, approximately.
So for 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
And how much did you make in payments each month?
I'm not sure what the credit card balance was. For some reason, $80 a month, what the minimum payment was.
Okay. So, at least while you were together, you acknowledged this debt,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Then you broke up and you stopped paying. Why?
I initially did not want the motorcycle. I wanted it, but I couldn't afford it, and I knew it. And I told her this. I says, I can't afford it. I came home from work one day, and she says, I paid off your credit card and put it all on this card. Now you can get the motorcycle, and we'll write a check off of this credit card and do this.
But your credit card bill was your bill that you had been paying, I assume. I'm not talking about the motorcycle. I'm talking about your original credit card.
Correct. She also told me that if I gave the motorcycle back to her, she'd sell it to pay off that credit card.
Well, but even if she sold it, you still had a debt of $2,200.
That's what the selling of the motorcycle would cover, Your Honor.
No, sir. Listen to me. I'm not great in math. If you buy a motorcycle for $1,700, motorcycles don't appreciate in value. It means they don't go up in value. If you sell it, it becomes less valuable. You get less money for it. I'm not talking about the motorcycle. Forget the motorcycle for a moment, because you repossessed the motorcycle from him. And you're going to sell it, and so you're really suing for a very small part of what you're suing for is the motorcycle. The majority of it is this $2,200 that you originally had on your credit card.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Mr. Chrysler, I want you to concentrate on the $2,200 that you owed a credit card. Forget motorcycle.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Julia Ely and Daniel Chrysler were engaged to be married. Julia wants Daniel to pay for bills and a motorcycle now that they have split.
Let's talk about the $2,200, sir. According to you, you made 6 payments of $80.
Yes.
Is it because you paid utilities and that kind of stuff that you feel as if you're not responsible for that
She
debt?
went above and beyond my control to get this motorcycle.
Forget motorcycle.
The motorcycle is the whole issue, because she transferred money around so I could afford to make payments on it, and I didn't want it to begin with.
Mr. Chrysler, I want you to forget motorcycle for a moment. I want you to concentrate on the $2,200 that you owed a credit card. Before motorcycle, no motorcycle. Did you pay that money?
No.
My question is,
I was in the process of paying.
but you stopped.
She broke off the relationship because she went out and had an affair.
What does that have to do with the $2,200?
Why should I pay her back for ruining my life?
Okay, now we get down to it. So that's your reason. Got it? Now I understand.
She wants everything back. She's even gone to the point where she sent me a letter. She wants birthday presents back. She wants my daughter's Christmas presents
Mr. Chrysler,
back.
shh. She's not getting birthday presents. She's not getting Christmas presents. Whatever reason the relationship was terminated, you have this $2,200 debt. You have no valid reason not to pay that $2,200 debt. I'm not talking about the motorcycle. I'm talking about the debt that you owe. Because those were your bills, right? Those are things that you bought for yourself that, but for the fact that they were transferred to this new credit card, you would be responsible for.
So then it's legal for her to take and do things without my knowledge, prior to my knowledge, excuse me.
Mr. Chrysler, if somebody, your fiance, your wife, your girlfriend, does something with your finances that you're not satisfied with, what you do is, that day, you say, you had absolutely no right to do that. These are my responsibilities. I love you, dear, but don't take it upon yourself to do that. You don't acquiesce in doing it, pay for a period of time, and then conjure up an excuse at the end why you're not responsible for it anymore. That's not the right thing to do. So you owe her the $2,200, less some payments. Now, how many payments did he actually make?
He made payments on May 20th, July 4th.
Just a second. May 20th for how much?
$77.
Go ahead. Next payment.
July 4th.
Yeah.
$77.
Mm-hmm.
August 5th, $77. And August 20th, $84.
I don't agree with it because it feels like that she's trying to have her cake and eat it too, Your Honor. She wants she acts like she wants to keep the motorcycle, in which selling the motorcycle will cover that credit card balance.
No, sir. What she says is, and quite frankly, in her complaint, it's rather fair, she says that she has taken the motorcycle in and that she'll be able to get $1,400 for the motorcycle.
That's not right. I can get $2,000 for that motorcycle. Right now. I could sell that motorcycle for $2,000.
Well, then, sir, if you could have sold the motorcycle for $2,000, why didn't you sell it and pay it off when after your engagement was terminated? You stopped making the payments. Why didn't you do it?
Because I wanted it.
Judge, I don't.
She has it
Say
back.
nothing.
She can sell it.
Do me a favor, say nothing. He had a balance of $2,200 that he acknowledges on the credit card. The motorcycle was $1,700, bringing us to $3,900. I'm giving him credit for the $315 that he paid, bringing us down to $3,595. So far, is that correct, my mathematician?
Yep.
And I am reducing that by $1,400 in the amount that you say you can sell the motorcycle for, leaving a balance of $2,195. Judgment for the plaintiff. That's all.
Parties are excused.
Not right, Your Honor.
It came to the point I cried. I did not ask her to do this to my head. Look at this.
She says the hairdresser braided her hair so tight, it fell out.
She was killing you, and you told her it was too tight. And then you sat there for 4 hours. You could deliver 4 babies in 4 hours.
All parties on Barth versus Johnson. Step forward, please.
Medicare representative Franchetta Barth says hairstylist Sean Muhammad made her hair fall out after giving her a weave. The hairstylist says it was not her fault.
Order. All rise. Quiet in the courtroom. Your Honor, this is case number 133 on the calendar in the matter of Barth versus Johnson. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Ladies, have seats.
I know that you're Miss Barth. Who is Sean Mohammed?
I am.
And Stephanie Johnson?
I am.
You're the owner of the salon.
That's correct.
And Miss Mohammed, you are the person who allegedly, negligently put in a weave in this lady's hair.
That's correct.
You have a booth in her salon.
That's correct.
So you're suing both of them?
Yes.
Okay. You claim that this lady who you went to have a weave put in your hair, put it in, causing you to become bald.
Yes.
So tell me about it. First, how did you come to use the defendant's services?
I do a lot of traveling, and one day passing by, I decided to stop in and ask the beautician if she did, if her shop did hair weaves. And
Who did you ask?
I asked Sean, and she said yes, it would cost $125. So we scheduled the appointment, and she directed me to a store in Palmdale called Winnie's Place to pick up the hair that I needed. Okay. For a weave, I needed a couple of them, and this is the weave. Okay. So when I went to, per our schedule, she first washed my hair and then she conditioned it and asked me if I was tender-headed. So I told her, no, I'm not tender-headed. But as she started braiding my hair in a circle, very thin rows, I noticed she was braiding very, very tight. And I asked her on several occasions to not braid so tight. I told her I need to think after this. And she told me it had to be tight in order to keep the top from looking poofy. So my exact words, I told her, you're the one with the license, you know what you're doing, as long as my hair doesn't fall out. Exactly. Okay? She kept braiding so tight. I mean, it came to the point I cried. I sat there and I cried. Okay? I did not ask her to do this to my head. Look at this. I can't wear my hair. I can't wear it. Look at that. And the pictures. I had hair on my head before I went to her shop. Paid $125 for her to do my hair. I also gave her a $10 tip.
Just a minute. Hold on. Miss Barth, got a couple of questions for you. Had you ever had a hair weave before?
Yes, I have.
And were you satisfied?
Before, yes.
Okay. So you knew how it felt?
I knew before I had 4 rows, large rows.
Whatever, you had a hair weave before.
Okay, and it was not done tight. It felt great.
You are a business person?
Yes, I am.
Intelligent?
Yes, I am.
So what I don't understand is, I go into a beauty salon. I ask them to do a procedure for me. I'm sitting there crying because my head is hurting so much. Not only don't you get up and leave, which, quite frankly, is what a normal reaction is, especially since you've had the process done before and you had no pain, you gave her a tip.
Yes.
Miss Barth, Doesn't that sound dumb to you? Let's think about it. You sit in this chair. You don't know this lady. She doesn't come with any recommendations to you. You just walked into her store and said, "Do you do this?" She said, "Yes." You sit down in her chair. She conditions your hair. She starts to torture you. Torture, right? And how long did this whole process take? An hour?
No, it took about four
4 hours. So from the first time she started to do it, she was killing you. And you told her it was too tight. And then you sat there for 4 hours. You could deliver 4 babies in 4 hours. Doesn't that sound ridiculous to you? Sure. And then when you were all finished, when she was all finished torturing you for 4 hours, you gave her a $10 tip. So you went home. You went home with this very tight weave. And when did you notice that your hair started to fall out?
The day before Thanksgiving.
When was this procedure done?
Around the 16th of November.
Okay, so it was not more than 10 days later that you saw your hair started to fall out, right?
Yes.
So what did you do?
I called Sean and told her there was a patch of my hair sticking up, and she asked me to come, if I can come down to her shop so she could see exactly what I was talking about. I went, actually my friend of mine drove me down, and sitting in her chair, she took a fine-tooth comb. She scraped underneath the top of that weave and put the scalp in my hand, telling me that it pussed up. The reason my hair fell out is because it pussed up. Okay?
Let me see. Do you have photographs to show?
Yes, ma'am.
I saw photographs sitting on the desk.
Okay.
So, what did you do next?
Well, she told me that she wanted to start a scalp treatment on my hair to help my hair grow back. But before I allowed her to do that, I wanted to make sure my scalp was not infected. And I went to my doctor to make sure it wasn't infected, and this is his summation, telling me that my scalp was not infected and that the follicles were still open where the hair will come back through.
Okay. So you had started some treatments.
Yes.
With the same person?
With Sean. The first day of the treatment, she told me it would take 20 minutes, and she put this green stuff, which she mixed in baking soda, and put it on my scalp, and 20 minutes with a plastic bag, and then she used the shampoo from it, which made the hair clump up. During that, she still had customers, clients coming in her office. She even put a hat on my head, okay? Now, a 3 o'clock appointment for a 20-minute hair scalp treatment turned into 11:30 that night. Because she made the hair clump up, she asked me if I had more of this hair at home. I took it upon myself, because I knew she was not going to unclump all this hair, went back to Palmdale. Winnie waited for me to come so I could buy another bag of hair from her, $43.30. I walked into Sean's shop and I said, "Here's the hair I picked up for you. So you owe me $43.30. She says, "I'm not going to pay for it. I could have untangled that." Your Honor, the next day I had to speak in front of 300 people. 11:30 at night. I didn't have time for her.
What kind of work do you do?
I'm in sales. I'm a Medicare representative. And from 3 o'clock to 11:30 that night, a 20-minute scalp treatment turned into a nightmare.
Franchetta Barth was surprised by her hair falling out after she received a hair weave from stylist Sean Muhammad. Now she wants $5,000 for pain, suffering, and loss of hair. Sean says Franchetta caused it herself.
Miss Barth, you went to this lady. She tortured you for 4 hours. You sat there. You paid her. You tipped her. You went home. 10 days later, you had severe trauma to your scalp. You had loss of hair. Why did you go back to her?
Well, she offered to try this scalp treatment. Okay, I've never sued anyone before. I'll be the first one to try to give
anybody. I'm suggesting that you say to some friends, co-workers, "I had this terrible problem with a weave that I had. Can you recommend somebody to me to go to? Go to your doctor. But you don't go back to the person who you believe caused you the trouble. That's just not smart. Right? Stop crying. It's hair, it's going to go back.
I'm trying.
Okay. So you put in this weave, and do you remember her saying to you that it was very tight?
No, what happened was, the first time that I met Miss Barth was on September the 31st, which was a Friday. She came into the line, as she stated. She told me she was in the area and she wanted to get a weave. So I did tell her to look at the books and show me. She made an appointment for November the 1st. November the 1st was a Saturday. Her appointment was for 8 a.m. and she came in. As she stated, I asked her about her hair. I asked her what she did, because when you get braids, and braids sometimes can be tight, so I made sure she wasn't tender-headed. I washed her hair and conditioned her hair. I braided her hair for the process of doing a full head weave. At the time when I did the full hair weave, as I go around, I asked her, was there any discomfort to her? She told me that there wasn't. I told her when I get to the top and as I close in the circle, it's going to get a little bit tighter, because when you're finishing something and the scalp gathers together, then it gets kind of tight. She told me that she was fine and she was comfortable. And I kept asking her to make sure, because that's what I do. I make sure that she's comfortable, because I know that I have to sew the hair on that she showed you onto the braids, because that's the foundation. When I sewed the hair onto the braids, Miss Barth told me that everything was fine. 2 weeks later, Miss Barth called me on November the 12th. It was either the 12th or the 18th. And she called me and told me that her hair had came out in the top. I said, well, I never had a weave come out, and I've been doing weaves for years. So I really don't know why you were recalling me, but if you want me to look at your hair, I'll be glad to look at your hair. So when Miss Barth came in, which was on November the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, at the top of her head, she showed me a quarter-size piece, which is in the picture up there. And she lifted it up and I looked at it. And she asked me, what could she do? Could I sew it back down? I told her, what you need to do is you need to go to the doctor and get a doctor's statement saying that your scalp is not infected, because I am not going to touch your scalp because I don't want to catch anything. She said, okay. About 2 days later, this was on Wednesday. I'm not sure exactly what the date was, but maybe like the 20th, she called me back and told me she had her doctor's notice, and that the doctor...
This doctor's notice isn't dated until December 11th.
Okay, maybe that's the doctor's notice that she got after the time.
That says that her hair was not infected.
Okay. But anyway, she said that her hair was not infected. She showed me the note, and she asked me if I could, now that she sees that my scalp is not infected and there's nothing contagious there, would I be able to sew the hair back down? And so I told her, well, okay, you can sew the hair back down. But in the process, she was asking me, what can we do about promoting the hair growth? And so I told her that conditioning the scalp and making sure that the hair is shampooed and clean, that would start to promote healthy hair. And I also explained to her that I had been to a hair show previously where we were taught about the organic stimulations treatment, which causes healthy growth of hair.
Whatever. So you washed her hair, it got clumped up, and then she went out and she got some other stuff. Listen, to make a long story short, you were seriously dissatisfied and you had a hair loss, right?
Yes.
I believe you're at least partially responsible as a mature, educated, intelligent woman. It was too tight. She's not feeling what you're feeling. Only you're feeling what you're feeling. You get up and leave. So there's a partial responsibility that you have. You have a responsibility too, because you're the professional and you should be able to see. There's no question in my mind that this problem resulted from the hair being pulled too tight. It's going to grow back. But there was no infection in her hair, and not only that, but on the sides, she had severe hair loss on the sides as well. I mean, this is a big piece of hair, right?
Yes, but she didn't have any sides. When she came in to me to show the top of her hair, there was no side damage. She only showed me the top of her hair. And she continued to come back to me to get her hair shampooed, conditioned weekly.
For how long?
I have my appointment book. That's the only thing that I have to show the dates that Miss Barth continued to come in for the treatments that I gave her free, because she already had
How many treatments did you go in
She
for?
did one treatment.
You have an appointment book that shows that she came?
Yeah, these are the dates that from November from November to December, it shows her name and the different dates that she dropped in on.
When did she come in after Thanksgiving in November, between November and December?
The date after Thanksgiving was December 9th.
Okay, so she came in December 9th. Mm-hmm. When after December 9th?
After December 9th, she also came in on December the 17th.
Okay. When again?
That was her last time coming, which was December the 17th.
Okay, good. So it's taken about 6 months for your hair to grow back now. Well, doesn't look so bad. Looks terrible when you take the wig off and you go like this, but it doesn't look so terrible.
Franchetta says a bad hair weave from stylist Sean Muhammad made her hair fall out. Sean says Franchetta caused her own loss of hair.
All right. What were your costs?
For everything, including other wigs that I bought that just didn't work.
No, not other wigs that didn't work. How much did you pay for this wig that you're wearing?
$86.
Fine. And tell me how much the costs were in total for what you paid the defendant.
$135.
And the treatments?
She didn't charge me for the treatment.
Did you have any doctor's costs as a result of this?
$10 for the office visit.
Just $10 for the office visit. Bert, I come to $231.
That's it, Judge.
Is that right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Your claim is for $5,000. Now, you don't expect me to give you $5,000,
I don't expect to get $5,000. Your Honor, I don't know what something like this costs or how much for pain.
Okay. Well, you had a lot of pain. Listen to me, Miss Barth. You had a lot of pain. You had a lot of pain. You're an adult. You don't sit there in pain. If somebody is causing you pain, you say, excuse me, I'm leaving. And you get up and you go. You don't sit there while somebody is causing you pain, especially when you've had this process before.
And why did
I
she
certainly
continue to
believe
come
that
back?
you should get back the cost of all of your expenses. And so far, all of your expenses were $231. Customer relations. Just listen to me about customer relations. You had a dissatisfied customer. Should have taken care of it immediately. What do you want to say?
I want to say that this is the first time that I have ever seen Miss Barth. I've never spoken to her. She's never made any attempt to contact me. I'm the owner of the salon. Had she contacted me, then I may have intervened to see what in fact did occur. But she may have had some scalp damage. I haven't seen those photographs. She apparently did have some scalp damage. I don't personally believe that it was as a result of weaving. Why would she wait 10 days? That's the other thing. She waited, her hair was done on November 1st. She says 10 days later,
started to fall
her hair began to fall out.
Right.
Yet she came back to the salon
several times.
Listen
not
to me.
for the treatment.
Listen to me.
Not for the treatment, but to request to have the hair sewed back. It would seem to me you would request to have the hair taken out, not let's put more in.
I'm not suggesting to you that Miss Barth acted rationally. I said if somebody was hurting me, and that's what she said happened, I would have picked myself up and walked out, especially if you had the process done before.
Exactly.
It's common sense. If somebody really pulls your hair very tight, that can cause the hair follicle to be disrupted. You know that. It can cause an infection. You know that. The fact that it doesn't happen, the fact that it doesn't happen routinely, it happened to her.
It may have happened to her. I don't deny that it happened to her. Did it happen as a result of that that process?
The proximate cause
is the question.
Well, nobody is going to be able to figure that out, except that the only intervening act between the time she came into your shop and the time that her hair fell out was the hair weave. Listen to me. This is not the Scopes trial. It's not the Supreme Court of the United States. What I'm telling you, madam, is between the time she had her hair woven at a salon where you rent the co-defendant, the booth, and the time she came back, she lost her hair. The hair was woven very tight. There is no question about that. And she says she told her it was hurting her. I find her at least partially responsible for sitting there and letting somebody hurt her, because she should have gotten up and should have left. But it shouldn't cost her any money. So I'm awarding her $250 for the cost of all of her products. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I said he was drunk, just like he is today.
I'm not, Your Honor.
The witness seemed less than reliable.
How much did he drink today?
He had one drink today.
From where did he get the brandy?
From the liquor store.
You don't buy brandy by the glass in a liquor store.
What does that have to do with this case, Your Honor?
Put him out.
Parties on Taylor versus Samarin. Step forward, please.
43-year-old Veronica Taylor is suing the owner of Crossroads Engineering Company, John Samarin, for having her falsely arrested for robbery and terrorist threats. John is countersuing for harassment.
Order. All rise. Your Honor, this is case number 131 on the calendar in the matter of Taylor versus Samarin. Parties have been sworn in. Judge, you may be seated. Ma'am, sir, have a seat, please.
Ms. Taylor, you are suing the defendant for really falsely accusing you of a crime.
Yes, ma'am.
And for whatever damages that you incurred, doctor bills, time that you spent in jail as a result of his complaint.
Yes.
Both he and his employee, you are the employee?
That's correct.
The countersuit, because they say that since this incident that brought the two of you together, you've been harassing them. Now, I read both the complaint and the answer, so let me at least try to put this in context. You had a boyfriend.
Yes.
Is this the boyfriend?
Yes.
And your boyfriend had been employed by the defendant.
Yes.
For how long, sir?
3 days.
And you terminated his employment.
Yes.
And your boyfriend asked you to accompany him to get his paycheck.
Yes, ma'am.
And you drove, or did he?
I drove.
Did he tell you that he had been fired?
No, never. Not one time he said he's been fired.
What time of the day was this?
It was around 4 o'clock.
What was his work schedule?
7 to 4.
7 to 4, 5 days a week?
Correct.
So this was about 4 o'clock, according to you, correct?
Yes.
And he had been with you that afternoon?
All day.
Well, then he wasn't working that day.
No, he wasn't.
So didn't you ask him why he wasn't working that day?
No, because at that day he went to the DMV because he had to get some papers from DMV, and that's why he wasn't working that day.
Well, he's saying no, but maybe he doesn't remember. In any event, he wasn't working on a day that he was supposed to have been working. And then what happened?
Then he opened the door and waved his hand like, come in. So I went in, and him and his boss was arguing, and I figured that they was arguing about the paycheck. So when I walked in, he asked me, he said, well, what would you do?
Who's he?
This man right here. He said, what would you do? And I said, I'm puzzled. I didn't know what was going on, And David asked me not to say nothing, so I didn't say anything. So they was arguing, and then I said, well, to solve the matter, why don't you just write him his paycheck, and then we'll go, and that'll solve the problem. So then after that, his secretary went back. I went with her in the back. And she said, I'm so nervous. And I said, I'm so nervous too.
What did you go with her in the back for?
When she went to write David's check.
What'd you go with her for?
Because she wanted me to walk back there with her. And that's
Is that what she said to you? Will you walk back there with me?
She said, I said, I'll go with you. She said, sure, it's okay. So I walked back there with her, and she said, I'm really nervous. And I said, I am too, because she said, I've never been in this position before. And I said, well, I've never been in this position before either. So I pat her on her back and said, it'll be okay, honey. And then she wrote me the check, and we started walking from the back. Well, in the meanwhile, by the time me and David was about to go out the door, I was trying to handle his paycheck, and all of a sudden, police was just everywhere. And all of a sudden, the police had him on the ground, okay? But in the meanwhile, I still had David's check in my hand. So I sit on the porch because I didn't know what was happening. I said, I can't believe this is not really happening. So the police went in the office to talk to him and his secretary. And so I sat on the porch for a while, maybe about 15 minutes. So the police came back out and said, do you have the check? And I said, yes, I do have the check. He said, well, we're arresting you because they said that you did terrorist threat to them, okay? I said, I never seen them before. I don't even know them. I don't know what's going on. This is David's check. This is not my check. And I said, I think it's unfair for you to put me in jail because what this man said, I ain't never seen him in my life.
Wasn't talking about prior relationship. I assume he was talking about what went on in that office today.
I'm talking about
so
what
you
went on in the
were
office.
arrested.
Yes.
Sir, you want to start from the time he walked into the door? Because I've read your answer.
Yes, I was in my back office, and
What kind of business do you have?
I'm in a general engineering, asphalt and concrete improvements, public works.
And what kind of work was...
truck driver.
He was driving a truck for you?
Correct.
What happened?
He entered the office door somewhat belligerent, noisy, and my girl Angie called me up front. So I think we have a problem here.
So this was the first person he met?
Yes.
Just step up, please. What is your name?
Angie Abeta.
Miss Abeta, would you tell me what happened when he first came into the office?
Okay, I sit at the front office, and my boss's office is in the back. He just burst in, and you could tell he was, not sober, I don't know, but anyway, he burst in and yelled, "I want my money." And that startled me right away because I have never seen the man. I usually don't see the employees. And that's when I called John over. And
did you say anything to him when he said, "I want my money"?
No, I called John
So
right
you
away.
called your boss?
Yes.
And then you came out?
Yes.
And what happened when you came out?
I was quite concerned. His eyes
tell me
didn't
what
appear
happened.
properly focused. He had alcohol in his breath, and he was demanding his paycheck. And we didn't even have a week's worth of wages yet, and Angie didn't prepare a check, and I was really concerned more about my automobile, and then I was going to find out about this check.
Why were you concerned about your automobile?
Several days before, I let him take my car home, and he blew the engine.
Why did you let him take your car home?
He was demanding to go home and be let off the clock. There was no work for him. Rather than going with the crew, I allowed him to take my car home.
What kind of car was it?
It's a BMW 635 M6.
How long had he worked for you before you gave him this car?
2 days.
Veronica Taylor says she was not involved with a robbery and terrorist threats the day she was arrested at John Samaran's company. She's suing him for false imprisonment. His witness, Angela Abeta, says Veronica frightened her.
Okay, so he comes into the office, he's demanding his paycheck. You want to find out what's happened with your car and whatever, and you hadn't prepared a paycheck for him. So what happened next?
Then he starts threatening me.
What did he say, sir?
I choose not to use the profane language.
I've
but,
heard everything.
Well, he says, "You dirty old son of a... I've done worse than this. Let me have my money. I'm going to get out of here." I proceeded over to an empty workstation where there was a phone, hoping I can just dial 911. He pushed me down and said, "Don't you dare use the phone."
When you say he pushed you down, did he put his hands on you?
Yes,
Where?
my shoulder.
Okay, go ahead.
And then proceeded to tell me not to use the phone. "I'm only here to get my money, as I can knock your head off. I've done worse things than this." And it was just, I don't remember word for word, but the intent that my life was in jeopardy, and I was quite fearful of what may happen. And I just tried to stay calm. In the meantime, I knew that Angie was no longer in the room at this point. I was trusting that she was dialing 911.
Did you, in fact, dial 911 for the
Yes,
police?
when I heard him arguing and I went and sneaked and he pushed him into the chair, then I sneaked back to his office and I did dial 911. And I walked back up to the front office again, and he was still threatening him, yelling him. The second time I walked up, he hit him. He slapped him in the face, and then I ran back again to call 911 again. By that time, he walked out of the door.
Who did?
The intruder. He walked out of the door. I could see from the back office. In came him with the lady.
With this lady?
And, well, I stayed hidden in John's office again.
In the back?
In the back. Again, I picked up the phone to call 911 again. I called about 3 times, and at that point in time, I heard John pick up the phone at that desk station, and he slammed the phone down and yelled at him in bad words not to use the phone. He didn't realize that I was on the other phone. And then she starts walking back to the back office and found me there. And that's when she was on top of me.
What did she say when she came to the back office?
Well, she started yelling, he's out of control, and if you don't write the check, he's going to do something. And of course, I figured after he did something to him, he'd come back to me. So she kept on top of me when I was sitting at the desk. She didn't realize I had just dialed 911. But I heard yelling where John was coming from, so I walked back up and I yelled at the intruder. I told him, "Wait, I'm going to get the checks out. I'm going to write you a check." So then she's following me around. We walk back, we unlock the checks, and I write the check. And all this takes, a good 30, 45 minutes. And of course, I'm shaking, and she's standing there. She says, "We're not leaving until you write the check, and he's going to do something."
Did she say, "We're not leaving until you write out the check"?
And I wrote the check and gave it to her. And by that time, I thought the police hadn't come. But when they started to walk out, she had the check in her hand. And of course, by that time, I was a nervous wreck. And then we saw the police outside.
Now, Miss Taylor, can you tell me why, after you walked inside to the office and you saw that this was a very hostile situation, why you just didn't turn around and get back into your car and leave?
Because after I talked to David and him, okay, and when I said just write the check and dissolve everything, I walked back with her. We wasn't even in there 20 minutes, so when she said 45 minutes, that was a lie.
I don't care if it's 5 minutes. According to you, it was a routine thing that he was just going in to pick up his paycheck, right?
Yes.
When you were called inside by this gentleman, you saw him in a state of altercation with his boss over the paycheck, right?
Yes.
Why didn't you just turn around, get back into your car, and leave?
Because I thought the problem was solved. When I got in there, I thought the problem was solved, okay? But it wasn't solved because they were still arguing. Sure enough, I should have went back in my car, like you said, and went back in my car.
Absolutely right,
okay?
because you understand that as far as they was concerned, I'll get to you in a minute. As far as they were concerned, they had a hostile environment, and there were two of them. There was only one of him. But then he went out and called somebody else. Somebody else who didn't just come in and then walk out, but who went in the back office. And according to you say, why don't you just give him the check and then we'll just get out of here? Or let's just resolve this, give him the check. Well, they weren't ready to give him the check. They say that your words were somewhat different. That you better give him the check, or else I don't know what he's going to do. He's out of control. But they're faced with a very hostile environment. Had he been drinking? Had he been drinking?
Yes, he had one drink.
Of course.
Yes.
And was he drinking today?
Yes, he was drinking today.
Sure he was. Was he drinking before he came to court today?
Yes.
Sure he was. He was drinking before he came to court, and he was drinking all afternoon with you before you went to their office.
No, that's not true.
Oh, sure he was.
No, that's not true, ma'am. Because believe me, I wasn't drunk.
I didn't say you were drunk. I didn't say you were drunk. I said he was drunk, just like he is today.
I'm not, Your Honor.
Veronica Taylor wants John Samarin to pay for her false imprisonment on charges of robbery and terrorist threats.
Now, I'm going to ask you a couple of other questions. This is my next to the last case for the day, so you've had a good 4 or 5 hours. How much did he drink today?
He had one drink today, Your Honor.
What time?
Had to be 12:30.
And what did he have to drink?
Brandy.
From where did he get the brandy?
From the liquor store.
You don't buy brandy by the glass in a liquor store.
No, he bought a small shot bottle. Okay?
Right.
What does that have to do with this case, Your Honor?
Sir, I don't answer your questions. You answer my questions. Now, I trust that you didn't know that there was going to be a problem.
No, I didn't.
But once you got into that office, you recognized that there was a problem.
Yes, I did.
Then you should have gotten out. Because their perception of what was going on was they now had two people demanding money, threatened, he was pushed, he was slapped, right? You didn't push him, you didn't slap him, but you also, in whatever language you used, whether it was, why don't you just give him the check and then we'll get out of here?
She never said that, Your Honor.
Put him out.
Step this way, please.
Of the building. Miss Taylor, You ever been arrested before this incident?
No.
How many times has he been arrested?
I don't know, ma'am.
A lot more than the no times that you've been arrested, right?
Yes.
You got to pick your friends more carefully, madam. You got caught up in the situation, but they didn't have you arrested falsely. They had good and substantial reason to have caused you to be arrested along with him. That's not the way you handle a dispute. You don't go in, push your boss around, throw him around in a chair, and demand to be paid. You don't do that. If you think somebody owes you money, then what you do is you resort to the courts. What are you shaking your head no for? You think what I just said to you was wrong? From their perception, they had a hostile, aggressive person who had just assaulted him, who called in somebody else who was sitting out in the car, who comes in and says to them, why don't you just give him the paycheck and we'll get out of here? Now, that's as benign as you say you said it to them. But their perception is that these two people are together. So I'm dismissing your lawsuit. Now, let's get to the counterclaim. Since this incident, you say that she has harassed you.
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Several times she's called the office. She was advising me to tell John that she was suing us for false arrest and for medical bills, and tell him pay my bills, and tell him I'm suing him because you stupid. I don't remember the other word. You had me arrested and I didn't do anything to you, and
okay,
and
so
she
that's
called several times saying the same thing.
Same thing. Mm-hmm. That she wanted money.
Yes.
When was the last time she called you?
Roughly 3 weeks ago.
Instead of calling them when they told you that they weren't going to pay you the money, why didn't you just sue them?
Your Honor, when I went to the courthouse, only time that I called this lady is when I went to the courthouse and they told me they had to know that I was doing this and I had to call them. That was the only time I called them.
What did you say to them when you called?
I said, this is Veronica. She said, well, is this the Veronica that lives in our apartment building? I said, no, this is the Veronica that you threw in jail. And she said, well, you should be in jail. I said, well, why should I be in jail? I said, I'm just calling you, telling you what I'm about to do. She's the one that cussed me out, Your Honor.
Okay, Miss Taylor, let me tell you this. But for the fact that you filed this lawsuit, I doubt very much that they would have filed a counterclaim. So I'm telling you this. I'm dismissing your lawsuit because it's nonsense. I am also at this time, without prejudice to you, dismissing your counterclaim. But that is with the following warning, Miss Taylor. You are to have absolutely no further contact with these people. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you do, the dismissal of their countersuit is without prejudice. They're coming back to court. If you contact them at all or cause anyone else to contact them, they have the right to come back because I will consider that harassment. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good. That's all.
All these are excused. You may step out.
She hit me with her belt over here, and she kept hitting me with it.
She called my in-laws and told them I was cheating on my husband. She wrote him on the boat and told him I was cheating on him.
A husband at sea gets a poison pen letter.
She called my mother-in-law. She wrote my husband.
I know something about her sleeping with someone else.
I don't know why you think this is amusing. It's really not amusing.
It's not amusing.
Bodies on Soares versus McNichols. Step forward, please.
19-year-old nursing assistant Melissa Soares says her ex-best friend, 20-year-old Nainita McNichols, beat her up and owes her for a phone bill. Nainita claims Melissa is a gossip.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 179 on the calendar in the matter of Soares versus McNichols. Sorry.
Thank you.
Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated. Have seats, please.
Ms. Soares, I gather that who are you?
Her mother.
You can have a seat. I gather that before the defendant came to live with you, she was a friend of yours.
Best friend.
How long had you been best friends?
Since our freshman year.
In high school?
Yes.
And there came a time when you got married. You married someone who was in the military.
Yes, I did.
And they went aboard ship. They were in the Navy. Your husband's in the Navy?
Yes, he is.
So you decided to come home?
Yes.
And you moved in with the plaintiff?
Yes, I did.
Something happened, didn't go well, you left. You claim that she owes you phone bill.
Yes, she does.
And in addition to the phone bill, you say that you also want $1,000 for emotional distress.
Yes, I do.
Let's start with the phone bill. She moved in.
Yes.
Wasn't paying any rent.
No, I told her it was okay for her not to pay rent because she was my best friend. I missed her. So I said, you can come and stay with me for free. It's okay. Just come and stay here. So she came to stay with me. And when she did come to stay with me, she stood there till about May or June. Then she decided she wanted to move for a little argument that we had, but we were still friends. So she decided she wanted to move in with her mother. Now I still have this phone bill, which the phone hadn't gotten shut off yet, which I wasn't worried about because she had told me she would be giving me money. And at this time, I still had I really trusted her because she was such a close friend of mine. So when it came down to the phone time to get shut off, she came by and I was in the West End of the New Bedford area. She says, come now if you want to come. So I go to the car, and when I get near the car,
She drove to your house?
She drove to my cousin's house. I was not home. And when I went near the car and I said, Mahogany, come with me. And when Mahogany went to come with me, I looked and they had took off, her and her mother. They took off really fast. And now I'm like, what's going on? Still not thinking anything because she's still my friend. Then I have somebody bring me to her mother's house. When I get to her mother's house, the mother says, hold on, really polite, I'm going to go get Nanita. Nanita comes, everything's fine. I get up the stairs in their apartment. When I get to the top of the stairs, the mother's behind me. She now pushes me into the apartment, and the daughter's standing there when I get in. And she says to me, why did you tell on me for? And I'm like, what's going on? What did I tell about? I have no idea what she's talking about. Somehow there was a rumor or some misunderstanding with her in-laws. So happened that she had an affair, and she was afraid that I was going to bring this out, which I had no intentions of doing. So now, her and her mother, they literally jumped me. She takes off her belt and she's like, now ma? The mother's like, go ahead. She takes her belt off, she hit me with her belt over here, and she kept hitting me with it. So then I then grabbed the belt, and when I tried to fight back to get out of the apartment, mind you, the door is chained and locked at this time, and the mother's standing near the door. And I'm going back and forth fighting with her, and the mother's pulling on me from every direction. Finally, someone's at the door, which is him. He's at the door, and he's like, what's going on? He came, he's her friend.
Okay.
No, he came looking for her, the mother. And then he then came and said, what's going on? I then ran down the stairs because now I get out the apartment. When I get down the stairs, the mother comes at me. I'm not satisfied. It's my turn. So she went at my neck, and he had seen that. And then after that, I came out the house, and so happens that the story got twisted around. Basically, I did not fight over the phone bill. I would like my money because this is all that I have, and so therefore.
Okay, let's start with A. You lived with her for how long?
I was there March and April 29th.
And were you calling your husband?
He was Colette Collin from Florida.
So you know you owe her a lot of money for a phone bill?
Yes, I do.
Why didn't you pay her?
I paid her. I only owe her $100. The first week...
Just a second. Show me the phone bills. Let's start with that first.
The whole bill is actually $525, but I only have $325 to show for, and I would settle for that much.
$325?
Yes, that's all I have to show for.
Oh, okay. Show me your proof that you gave her $225.
She was my best friend. When she came to me with the phone bill, I went to the ATM, I took out $200, I brought it to her house. The following Friday, I brought another $100. Then I owed her, that was $300, I owed her $200. I stopped paying her $100. I left money with my mother, like $25 here, $30 there. She was picking the money up from my mother every Friday after that. Then I found out that she called my in-laws and told them I was cheating on my husband. She wrote him on the boat and told him I was cheating on him. I did drive by.
How do you know that?
How do I know? Because I spoke to my husband. And my in-laws is the one who told me.
Did he send you a copy of the letter?
No, he ripped it up.
What possible motive would she have to do that?
Because she thought I wasn't going to pay her the rest of her phone bill money.
Okay. Did she give you any money in cash?
No, she had never gave me any money.
Why didn't you get a receipt for this money?
Because she was my best friend. When I moved out, it was not on bad terms.
You moved out?
Because she had made plans with her cousin to move in for the summer. We didn't move out on bad terms.
Well, you didn't move out on good terms. There was an incident.
No, there wasn't. No, there wasn't.
You didn't have an argument with her?
No.
Did she have an argument with you?
Yes, we did have a little. We had words. When she packed her stuff, we had words, and she decided to leave.
What were the words about?
It was in regard to the fact that her little brother was over the apartment. She was on the phone with her husband, and he was underneath my glass table, scraping the thing, and I said, get out of there. And she didn't like the way I said it to him. And I told her I would say that to any other little kid, my own brother or sister. What makes you think I can't say to your brother? If you can't keep him tamed, I'll do it myself. This is my home. And then that's when she then said, well, I don't have to effing be here, quote. So then she left. And
does that sound familiar to you?
No. I know about my little brother, but that's not why I moved out. It was planned that I was moving out when my husband went on the boat, because her friend was moving in for the summer, her cousin.
Yeah, but you moved out before the summer. So that doesn't sound familiar to you, what she just said to you?
I know we had, I mean, that happened, but that wasn't, no. I lived at her house.
Who are you?
Mahogany Silver.
Were you there?
I was there.
Well, step up here.
I was there, and what she said is what happened. And
Mahogany was not there.
I was there. And I was there.
Don't. Let me hear.
I was there when it happened, and I was there when she packed her stuff, because I even talked to her in the hallway, and she was telling me how she was mad about Melissa scolding her brother. I was there.
Melissa Soares claims Naynita McNichols beat her and owes her for a phone bill. Naynita says Melissa bit her thumb, sending her to the hospital.
You were there when this incident occurred, and you had a conversation with her in the hallway?
In the hallway. I asked her, you know, she just like went in the room without telling anyone, you know, and started packing her things. So when she was taking, you know, moving her things into her car, I went in the hallway and asked her, you know, what was wrong with her. And she told me she was mad about Melissa scolding her brother. She didn't like the way Melissa talked to her brother.
How old is your brother?
He's 8.
Okay, thank you. Step up here. Were you present during this incident that took place in her home?
Yes.
Who are you?
My name's Orlando Urquhart. I'm a friend of the defendant and Melissa. I lived with the defendant for a year.
Tell me what you observed and when.
All right, I was going over to pick up my fish tank, and I was outside the house with Jeff walking the dog. And
who's Jeff?
Jeff's the neighbor that lived downstairs. Me and Jeff was talking outside. Next, you know, I heard like a big ruckus upstairs and pounding on doors. And I was like, what's going on? Because the bottom door was locked, and I was ready to kick it in. And then they come down. She finally gets the door open, and she comes running out.
Describe her condition when you saw her.
Eyes watering, fear, shock.
Did you see the defendant?
No, not till they came downstairs afterwards. She was in the hallway with her mother. Her mother was down the stairs then.
Did you see anybody with a belt?
No.
Did you see any marks on any of these people?
No, I didn't see any marks. It was kind of like 7 o'clock when the sun was going down, and everything was just like a ruckus.
Okay, have a seat. Now, I want you to tell me first, did someone call her to come to your house that evening?
No, I had drove by. We was coming from the mall, and I saw her at her cousin's house. And I stopped, and I said, I have your phone bill money at my house. When are you going to come get it? Because she didn't come the past 2 weeks. And she said, why don't you leave it at my grandmother's? Why do I have to go to your house? I said, because I have work and everything. I left it at my house so you could get it. And the last thing she told me was, bring it to my grandmother's. I said, fine. Me and my mother drove off. We went home. I was next door at my cousin's house, and then she came to my house.
And what happened when she came to your house?
She went upstairs, and I asked her, why did you tell my family that I was cheating on my husband? And we started arguing because she said, I want my money and I'm going to get it any way I can.
What did she say? Did she answer you?
She said she didn't, but my mother-in-law's the one who told me she did.
Just a minute. So she said, I didn't? Mm-hmm. And what did you say?
I said, why are you lying?
And what did she say?
We started arguing. She was swearing at me, just give me my effing money. I want my money. We started fighting.
So why didn't you just give her money?
Because I said, after the trouble that you caused me with my family, the $100 I owe you, we're even. So she caused me trouble.
Just 1 second. You saw her earlier that day. You said, why don't you come over and get your money? You had already decided not to give her money.
No,
because of what
I thought she was going to tell the truth.
Just a second. Because based upon what you just told me, you had already decided not to give her money because of this gossip that you thought that she was the maker of. So why did you tell her to come over to get your money?
I was going to give her money. Yes, I was.
Well, when did you
'Cause
change
she
your mind?
started
Just a second.
swearing
When
at
did
me.
you change your mind?
Because she said, I just want my effing money. I don't care what happens to you. We started arguing. I didn't think she was going to blow up like that. She's the one that did that to me. She called my mother-in-law. She wrote my husband.
No, just a second. You're not following my question,
Yes, I am.
madam.
I was going to give her the money. There was no intention of us
No.
fighting.
Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself.
Listen to myself. I'm listening.
Try listening to yourself. You tell her to come and pick up her money.
Yes.
She comes to your house to pick up her money. Instead of handing her money, you say to her, why, and I assume not in a calm tone, why did you create this gossip? She says to you, I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that she did, according to you, so you responded to her. Then you started verbally fighting, and then you started physically fighting.
Yes.
Right? And my question to you is, if you told her to come to get the money, why didn't you just hand her the money? Period.
Because I want to know why she did that to me.
She said she didn't.
But she did. My mother-in-law told me. I did not think it was going to turn into a fight at my house when I asked her, why did she tell my family and my husband that I was cheating on him?
Uh-huh.
And I didn't think it was going to turn
Who
into a
hit
fight.
who first?
She did.
Excuse me. She hit me first, and I'm the one who got a phone call from her sister-in-law stating, Melissa, me and you have been friends for years. Now, my brother just married this girl, and seeing she's your friend also, but y'all my friend before her. Let me know exactly what you know. I know something about her sleeping with someone else. And I said, I have no idea. I can't account for what goes on behind closed doors. And then we hung up. The next thing you know, the whole story's flipped around, and it looks like I made this story up. And even her mother-in-law's like, why would she? Her mother-in-law said that she came to her herself stating, Melissa's gonna come to you with this gossip because she's mad because I ain't giving her her phone bill money. She was afraid I would do that because I didn't get my money.
Melissa Soares wants her phone bill paid, plus emotional distress for assault. Naynita McNichol says Melissa told her husband about a supposed affair.
Did this lady hit you?
Yes, she hit me.
Where'd she hit you?
She grabbed me by my hair and she hit me with the belt.
No, I did not.
Mm-hmm.
No, I did not.
Step up here. Tell me your last name.
Long, L-O-N-G.
Miss Long, what did you have to do with this whole incident?
All right. Naynita showed up at my house, tears in her eyes and her bags in her hand. And I said, she's like, I have nowhere to go. Mahogany and Melissa want to live together and go dancing together because one was a stripper and the other one wanted to go do the same thing. So they had this plan that they were going to get a car together so that they can be by themselves and do whatever they want.
Just tell me what happened on the day she came to your house.
So the day that she came to my house, well, the day that I saw her was the day I was with my daughter. We had gone to the mall. We had come down from the mall. We was coming down Kempton Street, going past Bing's house over there, and they flipped us off. They flipped her hair. And I'm like, there's Melissa. You know, 2 days before, Naynita had given me money to give to Melissa. Melissa was always at my house every Friday.
Don't digress, madam.
All right.
You passed her and you
Passed
saw
her house,
and
saw her,
and you just
and
a second.
stopped,
And just a
and
second.
she approached the car.
I'm speaking. My mouth is moving. You stopped the car. You stopped the car. And when you stopped the car, your daughter said to her, "Why don't you come and get the money?" That's what your daughter tells me that she said.
Melissa had approached the car, and Naynita says, I left the money with my mother. How come you didn't come pick it up? Melissa was swearing at her and all that stuff. And I'm like, she wants the money. She can come pick it up at the house later on. Let everything calm down, and we'll go home. She wants to come pick it up. Went home. I was home for about 20 minutes. Doorbell rang. I went downstairs. It was Melissa and a car full of people. So I says, okay. I says, let me go get Naynita. I went and got Naynita, and I says, Melissa's here to come pick up the money. We all go in the house. I go in to talk to my ex-husband about our son. Next thing I know, I hear yelling. I come out. Melissa's raising her hands to Naynita. Naynita pushed Melissa back. Melissa then proceeded to charge into Naynita, and they ran into my couch, busted up my furniture. Naynita kicked her off the couch. They fell into the door in her bedroom, started fighting around. I'm yelling and screaming, saying, stop, you're going to bust my TV, you're going to break the lamp, you're going to roll into the fish tank, you're going to get glass all over yourselves. By this time, they had had this fight in Nenita's room. From the bed, they went to the floor. Melissa was on top of Nenita, holding her down like this. I'm sorry, please forgive me. Let me explain. I didn't mean to say those things. Let me up and I'll explain. And Nenita's like, well, what do you need to explain about? And she's like, well, I'm just sorry for everything that happened or whatever. And I want my effing money and I want to go. And by this time, my house was like trash. My couch was broken. Things were all discombobulated in my house. And I opened up the door. I told Melissa, get out. A couple of days afterwards, my son came home, my older son, he was 17, and he says...
Don't tell me what your older son said to you.
My older son told me that...
Don't tell me what he said to you. I'm not interested in what he said to you.
Oh, you're not interested?
No.
Okay.
Has nothing to do with this case.
So they were harassing him.
Has nothing to do with this case.
And during the time that the fight happened and the time that they came and destroyed my car, they would go by the house and harass.
Madam, I don't have anything about, in this case, about your car. I don't have anything about your son. All this case is about a phone bill and what happened to her when she got to your house. You have anything
else? And I have
else?
Pictures of the destruction that she did to my house.
Madam, did you file a claim? Yeah. The question is, did you file a claim?
Yes, when I talked to the woman on the phone.
Did you go to court and file a claim?
No, I didn't go to court.
Then you have no claim. I have to make a judgment about who I believe. I believe that she owes you the money. I believe that she owes you what you can prove is $325.
Yes, ma'am.
I have no proof that she gave you any money in cash. I believe that she called you to come to the house for the purpose of confronting you, which she did. I don't know why you think this is amusing. It's really not amusing.
It's not amusing.
She was really good to you.
It isn't amusing.
She was really. You want to know why, Miss McNichols?
And she told my husband I was cheating on him. I gave her $400 of her money.
And I know that she did because
and I left
saw
money
her
with
give
my
her
mother.
the money.
Did she ever give you any money?
The only time she came to my house was when she had a bat in her hand.
Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $325. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Didn't even say nothing about the car or nothing.
Her diary said she and his best friend had done him wrong.
She can flirt with whoever she wants to flirt with, right?
You can't compare 5 months of sex with 9 years of friendship.
You saw her, according to your papers, kissing your best friend.
Her little journal said that she had flirted.
Judge, I'm being honest.
Her diary said she and his best friend had done him wrong.
Well, it made you mad more at your friend than at her. She wasn't your girlfriend. She can flirt with whoever she wants to flirt with, right?
Yeah, you can't compare 5 months of sex with 9 years of friendship.
Well, that was uncalled for, Mr. Mason.
He's on Phillips versus Mason. Step forward, please.
22-year-old Christy Phillips says her ex-boyfriend, 21-year-old Adrian Mason, lost her camera. Adrian claims Christy flirted with his best friend, ruining their friendship.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 156 on the calendar in the matter of Phillips versus Mason. Parties have been sworn in, Judge. You may be seated.
Miss Phillips, this was your former boyfriend.
Yes.
And you loaned him a camera. Your camera, he wants to borrow it, use it to take some pictures, and you lost the camera.
No, she knows who has the camera.
Well, according to your answer, sir, you left it in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you know where it is?
The person I was
Do you
talking
know
to.
where it is?
Yeah, I know where it is. He told me where it was.
So why don't you go get it?
Why should I?
All right.
I mean, I told her where the camera was, for one, Your Honor, and I forgot the camera. When I came out here, once I went to San Diego, the first thing I did was call her and let her know where her camera was.
Just a minute. It all gets a little confusing, but we're going to straighten it out. Mr. Mason, according to your answer, sir, you acknowledge that you, in fact, did borrow Miss Phillips' camera.
Yeah, I did.
Right?
Yeah.
And you took it with you on a trip to San Diego?
To Los Angeles.
To Los Angeles. You live in San Diego?
Yeah.
Try yes. It's nicer.
Yes.
And you were out at a lunch or at a meeting with a former best friend of yours.
It was a confrontation about what happened between them.
Where was this confrontation?
At the restaurant.
And you had the camera with you?
Yeah, I had it around my neck. And when we talked, I took it off with my hat, my glasses, set it on the side. I began to talk to him.
So you took off the camera. Your glasses, your hat, that's your problem. You took off her camera and you put it on the bench next to you?
The table.
Table. And then you had this confrontation with a former best friend of yours.
Yeah.
which was about Miss Phillips?
Yeah.
Because you saw her, according to your papers, kissing your best friend.
No, I never saw her. I never saw her. I read in her, she had a little journal sitting out when I came to visit her. And her little journal said that she had flirted, and why did she, she didn't explain, it didn't explain what she had did. So at that time, I couldn't confront her about that. So from that point, I went to LA to talk to him about this.
Okay. So this gentleman was your former friend?
Of 9 years.
Were you dating her at the time?
No.
Were you dating her at the time that she allegedly did this flirting?
No.
Ask him how long it had been.
In any event, it made you mad. Made you mad more at your friend.
Yeah, that's why I had a problem with it.
Made you mad, well, that's reasonable. It made you mad more at your friend than at her. She wasn't your girlfriend. She can flirt with whoever she wants to flirt with, right?
Yeah, you can't compare 5 months of sex with 9 years of friendship, you know?
Listen to me. Well, that was uncalled for, Mr. Mason. So let's get back to the camera. So you left the camera on the table.
Yes.
Now, when you realized you left it on the table, did you call this former friend of yours and ask him whether he had the camera?
No, he called me and let me know I had left it there 30 miles.
That you left it there?
Yeah.
Does he in fact have it?
Yeah, he thinks it's mine.
Did you call this gentleman?
When I called Adrian, he was supposed to return the camera on Tuesday. Didn't call me on Tuesday. I called him on Wednesday, said, where's my camera? He said, I gave it to, I don't want to say this person's name, but he said, I gave it to this person, it's gonna...
You gave it to Mr. X?
Yes.
He said, I gave it to Mr. X.
He said he gave it to Mr. X. Why did you do this?
Did you call Mr. X?
I asked Adrian for his number, and he said, I'm not doing you any favors. He said, I'll mail it to you in the mail. But I'm not doing you any favors. I called him back that day probably like 100 times. I went over to his house, left a note with his roommate. This was late May. This is late May that this happened. Middle of May.
She did not call me.
Just a second. Did you give her the phone number?
She has it already. When I stayed with her, I made numerous calls on her phone. They're all long distance charges.
Listen, she doesn't have to be a detective. You borrowed the camera.
Yeah, I borrowed the camera.
Good. Now, you bought this camera new or used?
I bought it used.
And how much did you pay for it and when?
I bought this at the beginning of school, so that would be September. And when I bought it used from a private individual for about $250.
What do you mean about $250?
Well, it came with a flash, which I didn't give him, a camera bag, all extra stuff that, but the camera, what I gave him, $250.
You just said it came with a flash, which you didn't give him.
Yeah, I didn't give him
It came with the bag, which you did or did not give him.
I didn't give him the bag now. Because when he asked me...
Did you pay for this by check or cash?
Cash.
Can I ask something?
Sure.
She tried to sell me this camera for $80.
When?
You know what I'm saying? Between the point where I found her, what happened at the club, she called me 3 times in between then. I never called her. One time she called me telling me she wanted to sell me this camera for $80. I didn't have the money at the time, so I never spoke about it again. She called me another time, asked me to go to lunch with her. I denied. The last time she called me, she wanted to ask me about some boxes because she was moving. Well, she's moving, I'm moving, so we're going to get together and talk about all the nonsense we did in our relationship because we're going our separate ways.
What does this have to do with the price of the camera?
She sold it to me for $80. I said that already.
No, you said she wanted to sell it to you for $80.
She wanted to.
Is that right?
The amount is incorrect.
How much did you offer to sell it to him for?
We talked about it, and we decided at first 120. We had said that we were gonna, he was gonna buy it for 120.
Right. 120, madam, isn't what you're suing for here, which is $450.
The $450 is because it was for my class. So when he didn't give me back my camera, I had to rent a camera to finish my photo class. And I told him this. I said, I need my camera back today, because
show me the price. Show me the receipt for the rental. This isn't a receipt for a rental.
That's how much it costs for the rental.
No. A receipt for a rental. If you went to a place and rented a camera, you would have gotten a receipt for the number of days that you rented it. This is just a brochure of how much it would have cost if you would have rented it.
Yes, I understand that, Judge.
You understand. So these are pictures, and this is a brochure. Show me the receipt since this all happened very recently, show me the receipt for the rental of the camera that you say you rented.
Yes, the reason why I do not have the actual receipt is because I just moved from San Diego to LA, and all my stuff is at my parents' house, so I wasn't able to find that.
This you have.
Because I made a trip this weekend to San Diego
then
for the camera shop.
Then if you made a trip to San Diego to the camera shop, you could have asked them for a duplicate receipt.
Yes, they weren't able to do that.
You could have if, in fact, you did rent a camera. I'm not so sure that you rented a camera.
Christy Phillips wants her camera back from her former boyfriend, Adrian Mason. Adrian says he told her where her camera was. He left it at a restaurant.
You know what doesn't make sense to me? You offered to sell him the camera for $120. He says $80. Let's assume I believe you, because there's no question he's responsible for this camera. He's going to buy this camera, and then he can go get it back from the person who he says has it. All right? That's not the issue. The issue is how much. Now, if I believe you, it's worth $120, because that's what you offered to sell it to him for. Then why would you have spent another $300 to rent a camera if you could buy a camera for $100?
Because you can't. The kind of camera I have, you cannot buy. When I offered him the $120, that was because we were together. He wanted this camera our whole relationship. So when we were together, I said the $120. No camera that's a camera with a lens, with the 50 millimeter lens, a zoom lens, no camera, you're not going to be able to find that for $120.
You found it, you said you just told me for $250, but now you want $450.
Because I had to pay.
You want twice as much as what you paid for the camera. Well, that's not going to happen.
No, Judge, I paid the $250 for the camera when I bought it. It was a good deal. I'm not going to find that good of a deal anywhere else. And also, Judge.
And you don't have a receipt when you bought the camera?
For the rental. It was a private
I'm not giving you any money for the rental, madam. I think it's a lot of baloney. Because if you went back to the camera shop to get these prices, you could have gotten a duplicate bill if, in fact, you did rent a camera. Do you understand what I said to you? You can talk from today till tomorrow. It does not make sense for you to go back and get the brochures and not get a duplicate receipt. Do you understand what I just said? Clear. Good. Give it back to her. Now, you do not have a receipt for the used camera that you purchased.
No, I do not.
So I have to rely on your word that you, in fact, paid $250 for it. You say she paid less for the camera.
She told me she did.
Judge, can I say?
Just a second. No, say nothing.
If she knew I wanted this camera the whole time, why would she even give it to me 2 days before she has to do something so important? I called her to let her know where her camera was. She never called me.
Mr. Mason.
You know,
you are irresponsible.
Judge,
do you see my mouth moving?
Yeah, I saw it moving. I'm sorry.
Judge, can I say one thing?
No. If you tell me one thing that I can believe, perhaps I'll listen to you in a second. You had a responsibility, if you borrowed her camera, to return it, not to call her up and tell her where she could get it. That's not what happens. When you borrow something, you return it. That's responsible. Now, you can't come into court, madam, and tell anything less than 100% truth. Assuming that what you say is true, that you paid $250 for this camera. I'm assuming that what you say is true. And I'm assuming that you offered to sell it to him for $120. Just a second. What I don't believe, madam, is that you rented a camera, bringing your total claim to $450. That I don't believe. We understand each other?
I understand you.
Good. Judgment in this case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $200. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may
Stay out of my life, dude, for real. If she knew I wanted this camera all this time, why would she give it to me, 3 days before she has to do something so important that she rents a $450 camera? 3 hours from my house, she brings me somewhere so we can talk about our life on TV. That's not a woman, that's a little girl, for real. I don't have a friend anymore. I lost a friend because of her, and I lost $200. And then I go home, broke. Now what,
Parties on Martindale versus Noble. Step forward, please.
21-year-old letter carrier Shanna Martindale claims former live-in lover, 23-year-old electrician Andrew Noble, threatened to kill her. She put him out. Now, she wants rent from him.
You two folks lived together for a brief period of time, rented an apartment together. According to your complaint, the defendant assaulted you. You obtained a restraining order against him, had him put out of the apartment. Your lawsuit seeks damages for the assault, as well as the expenses that you incurred for the apartment after he moved.
Correct.
Your defense is you followed the court order, you moved out of the apartment, so you shouldn't be responsible for the rent,
Exactly.
and that you don't really talk much about the assault, except say that you pled guilty, which is...
Yes, I did.
And you spent a couple of days in jail.
Yes, I did.
How long did you live together before this assault took place?
We lived together for a couple of years, and then it happened a couple of times, but it just went by, and then the last time it happened, he threatened to kill me, so that's when I went to, this is my witness, Minnie Smith. I went over to her house and called the police and filed a report.
Well, he threatened to kill you, but you claim that he assaulted you and caused a scar on your lip.
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
This was a couple months beforehand. We had gotten into a fight at night, and he had tried to break my nose.
When you say you got into a fight, tell me about that.
We just would go out, and then we'd come home and get into an argument, and then it'd just lead to one thing to another.
Tell me about it. That's not I assume it's not funny.
No, we just had gotten into it.
Well, tell me about it,
One
madam.
thing was said to another.
The most of your lawsuit is about the injury that you suffered as a result of this assault, which occurred 2 months before you finally separated, according to you. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Is that right?
Correct.
Fine. Then I want you to tell me about that assault.
Okay, well, we came home. We got into an argument.
What was the argument about? And what did you say to him, and what did he say to you?
I don't remember. This was back like around Christmas. I don't remember word for word, but it just came out as, he thinks I dressed
We
like
had been
a
out
slut.
drinking the night before, Your Honor. I mean, there's no way either of us can probably even remember that fight.
Do you remember hitting her, sir?
I remember getting in a scuffle with her. Yes, I do. I don't remember who swung first. I don't remember what the argument was about. I remember the police coming over that night, and they turned around and left. I mean, her nose was bleeding. I had scratches all over my face. So, I mean, it was a mutual thing.
Shanna Martindale says former live-in lover Andrew Noble assaulted her, scarring her face.
Do you remember that evening?
Yes, I do. I mean, I don't remember exactly what the argument was about, but yes, I remember getting into the scuffle with him.
Did you scratch him on the face?
Yes, I did.
A scuffle is not an assault. A scuffle is when two people get together. He's hitting, you're scratching, he's got scratches on his face, you have scratch on your lip. I mean, how am I supposed to make a determination
That's exactly
in a court
what it was,
match?
Your Honor.
How am I supposed to make a determination with regard to that assault that happened? And there was no arrest. Is that right?
Right.
And you didn't file a complaint?
Right.
And you didn't go to the doctor?
No.
Okay. Now that we've taken care of the assault, let's take care of what happened 2 months later when you had him put out of the house.
Okay.
So tell me what happened when you had him put out of the house.
Let's see, around the beginning of the year, we had started not getting along. I had asked him to leave. He told me no, he'd rather stay with me and be unhappy than to leave me and be unhappy. So then that's when I started staying at my dad's a lot. And one morning I came home to get a uniform for work. I was standing there brushing my teeth. He came in on a rampage, grabbed my mouth. I spit my toothpaste in his face. So he threw me down into the tub. We continued out into the kitchen after he threw my hairdryer at me. He had a hold of my ponytail and had me held to the ground, talking to his mom on the phone at the same time, saying he was going to kill me. She needed to call somebody and get him over there. So at that time, I broke loose from him. I went out to my car and I drove over to her house.
Does that sound familiar?
More or less.
Okay. So you were arrested.
Yes, I was.
Spent 2 days in jail.
Yes, I was.
Pled guilty.
Pled guilty. Kicked out of my home.
How much was the rent on this apartment?
$500 a month.
And had you been sharing the rent?
Yes.
And how much more did you have to go on the lease?
I had to pay $850 to terminate the lease.
Which you didn't pay. Which she didn't pay. I just talked to the lady from the leasing agent Friday, and she said that Shanna's not paid this money. She said she went to rent the apartment out.
The lady told me I had to come up with the half, and then with AJ's half to let her know what I was doing.
Okay, so you really have to come up with $425.
Right.
The state's in my...
Shut! How much after you had him arrested did you move out?
2 months.
Did you pay the rent for that 2-month
Yes, I did.
period? Your entire rent was $1,000 for those 2 months, so his share would have been $500. So the amount of your claim is $925.
And then the keys that weren't returned, that was $30.
You mean his keys?
Right.
Well, they're his keys. They're going to go after him for $425 for termination fee. Are you working?
I have it
I work every day of my life.
Good. So they're going to come after you. You were on the lease, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Now, let me explain to you what your defense is, Mr. Noble. Your defense is you followed a court order and vacated the apartment.
Exactly.
Right. And I'm going to tell you that you vacated the apartment through fault of your own.
Yes.
Your fault was you pled guilty
Yes, ma'am.
to either an assault or an attempted assault on her, which means that you are responsible for this money. Now, you think that just because you followed the court order, you're not responsible for this money. You are responsible for the money because your actions caused you to be put out of the apartment.
I understand.
So the judgment in the case is for the plaintiff in the amount of $925. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.